Alright, so this is the BETAFPV Meteor75 Pro with the 04 air unit, or the 04 Lite. And basically this is the same as most of the parts are the same as the Meteor65 Pro that I reviewed a short time ago. Obviously the major difference is you have the Meteor75 Pro frame plus the 1102 22,000 kV motors, and you got the same these 45mm propellers here from GemVan on the Meteor75 Pro. So you've actually seen the top part here in two previous videos. The Meteor65 Pro video had the canopy with the 04 air unit lights and the Matrix 1S HD all-in-one board specifically for the 04 air unit that provides the 5 volts and 3 amps needed to power it. And I encourage you to go watch the Meteor65 Pro video. I'm not going to cover all that again, but basically you have a new 1S board that can provide the proper voltage and current for the 04 air unit light, so that this actually all works. And so I actually transferred this top part, which was the canopy, the camera, the air unit, and the flight controller from the Meteor65 Pro to the Air 75 frame, and these are actually the motors from the Meteor65 Pro, and that was in another video on the second channel. If you missed it, I'll link that down in the video description. And I took it off of this platform and I moved it over to the parts for the Meteor75 Pro. So this is essentially the same as you'll get out of the box from BETAFPV. The color of the frame is different. I got the black frame here instead of the transparent gray, and then I'm using the black and red motors instead of the silver motors. I believe the stock one comes with the silver motors, but the same motor, same kV. And it does come in the two versions, one that comes plug and play without the 04 air unit and you have to install it yourself, and then one that comes completely built with the 04 air unit already installed. And you're kind of wondering, like, well, why am I only getting one 04 air unit and doing these reviews like this? Is because I think there's a shortage of 04 air units, and BETAFPV probably didn't get a large supply from DJI, which is why they have like limitations on the number of drones available. I think like 300 or 150 before the Chinese New Year. And I think after the Chinese New Year, which is going to be ending like around after the first week of February, the supply chain should be better. I'm assuming that they'll have more in stock and those limitations will be gone. So for those of you wondering why the reviews are coming out like this, is because they just didn't send me a lot of stuff that they didn't have available to them. Now, I did apply the CLI dump from the Meteor75 Pro from the product page, so it does have the stock PID tune on here. So if you're wondering if it's got the wrong PID tune, it does have the stock PID tune from the factory for the Meteor75 Pro 04. Alright, so here's how much it weighs. It should be like 37.2. Yes, on my scale about 37.3. And then with the 1S550 Lava, we're coming in at 51.3 total. And this was the same LiPo that I used when I was flying it with the Air 75 frame. So it went up in weight quite a bit. So if you watch that video, I think it was around 29, around 29.6 grams, I believe, no battery. And now we're up to like 37.2, so like about 8 grams up in weight. Yes, we have a larger prop, so we're going from a 40mm bi-bladed prop to a 45mm tri-bladed prop. So you should definitely get more power, and the motor is also bigger, 0802 versus 1102. So you get more power overall, but also the weight is up a lot higher. So those kind of cancel each other out in terms of using the same battery, and I got about the same flight time for both of these. So a little bit under 4 minutes with kind of semi-aggressive flying, trying to do a little bit of freestyle. I think if you just cruise them around, which is what BETAFPV is intending for these models, you're going to get more flight time, probably closer to 4.5 minutes to maybe 5 minutes. People have been asking me, are these good for freestyle? I would say because of the weight and because it's 1S, not really my first choice for freestyle. I think that these are intended for more cinematic flying, kind of, cinematic cruising. and try and squeeze out longer flight times. So if your intention is to get something like small like this, specifically for freestyle with the 04 lights, I would suggest looking at something on a 2S setup, like the Pavo Femto from BETAFPV. I'll have a review on that one a little bit later. Maybe the Mobula 7 2S. And then there's some of the other ones out there that are also going to be coming out on 2S, like from Flyboost. So don't worry, those videos will be coming eventually. Just that a lot of stuff is in the queue right now. But basically, in terms of flight performance, I got a little bit more acro ability. It's definitely got more power to do, some power loops and flips and tricks like that. But it's still 1S. It's not really my first choice for freestyle. And again, I would recommend mainly for cruising and cinematic flights for this one. And I did notice that as I flew more aggressively, the jello or vibrations from this canopy, even though it's got the soft mounts for the camera, still kind of come through. I'm still investigating as to what all the causes are for that. I did have like one idea as to what one of the causes was. I made a video about that over on my second channel. I'll link that in the video description if you're interested. But I did notice that when you're flying more aggressively, a lot of higher throttles, fast changes in direction, a lot of quick maneuvers, some vibrations are still getting through to the camera, and you can see the vibrations in the video, a little bit of jello. And again, I'm still investigating that as to what all the possible causes are. But again, we're dealing with some tiny parts here. So in terms of like when those vibrations come out, it has to do with more like flying aggressively and an acro flight. If you're just flying cinematically, kind of slow, I don't really notice too much of those vibrations coming through. Anyway, I'll link both of the full DVR flight and the gyroflow stabilized footage down in the video description. You guys can examine those to your heart's content. Personally, for me, I think I'd rather like the lighter setup of the Air75 with the smaller motors. It just felt a little bit more, even though it didn't have the top end power of the Pro with the bigger motors, I just felt like it was a little bit more agile just because it was so much lighter, and the 40mm propellers seemed to be good enough. Yes, probably I would still stick to cinematic flights, even with the Air75 frame, but you can get the Meteor75 Pro and then get the Air75 frame and then do that conversion. It's really, really easy. Again, I'll link that video down in the video description. Now, of course, I'm going to do another conversion here because it's very easy to move over the stack, which is the canopy, the air unit, and the flight controller, over to another setup, which is going to be this guy here. And this is the HX100 SE frame. It's a 2.5-inch frame, 1102 motors. It was analog when it first came out, but the stack here will move over very easily to this, and I just need to come up with a solution for a battery tray. And this, I think, should be a little bit better for acro. Again, it'll still be on 1S because we're dealing with that 1S board there. But I think for those of you like are interested in like a 2.5-inch 1S 04 light toothpick, stay tuned for that video. I will probably post that video over on the second channel because it's not really a product that you can buy. So if you're interested in that, so let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll move that up in the schedule. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to do this because I got a lot of stuff on my plate right now. But that'll do it for this video for now. Again, links to everything down in the video description if you want to check out this model, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.